What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of IDK Sports Podcast, your premier spot to talk sports with the average guys. My name is Anthony. This is my main man, Kenny.
What's happening?
And you can catch us every Monday on all podcast platforms and on YouTube at 5 p.m. Like, subscribe, share, all of that. Know why we here. You saw the title,
We
cover
like.
art. We here for the NFL draft. NFL draft happened this week.
Yeah.
Got a lot of storylines, a lot of different takes. I mean, it was an interesting draft.
It was a show.
If you saw it, heard it on Twitter, anywhere,
it was a show.
It was an interesting draft, and we're gonna get right into it. So, only way to start the musical section off is there's only one way to do it.
Give them something, DJ.
It's only one way.
They told me bust out my AP, perfect time, man. Got them niggas up on my neck of station.
They shine.
Never had around my jewelry, chase a climb, man. I went and got that new Maybach, I stayed grinding.
Hey, man. Gotta do Shador.
And put me on like maybe 5 minutes before we started recording. That'd be hard as hell.
Got to, man. Gotta push it through.
Hey,
perfect time. They playing with them in the NFL. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, bro. That first start in the dog pound, and he coming out the tunnel.
That would be hard. They ain't gonna do it though.
Hold up the AP out the tunnel.
They ain't gonna let them do it
to your own record, and then go out there and drop 300, 3 tuds.
Yeah.
Don't. You know what I'm saying? One running. All right.
I ain't gonna do it.
You know what I'm saying? Don't let him have a 4-touchdown day.
Yeah. Then now, I want to take it back. I do want to do a throwback. And when I say throwback, it's throwback to when we was turning up a little bit more. Let's just
what we got. These are ones.
Got the mix and root your poop. Came on mixing too. Poop. I
this is back when Cash was dancing in the club.
This last dancing record. This is probably one of the last dancing records.
She's really out here jumping around, sweating.
Hey, it didn't really make sense because bro was like 6'2", 6'3". This dance hard as hell.
Bro, man, this hit the block. This is real.
Bruh.
Hey, man. That was
one of the ones, boy.
That was one of them ones.
And then Drake caught the feature. Yeah. Oh, man, that's a slam dunk. Yeah. That shit was a slam dunk.
Yeah. Yeah. They on the other side. Oh.
Yeah. You know what's about to happen. You know what happens when the kid gets on it. You know what happens.
So, yeah, man, lot going on with the draft, man. And of course, we got the big storyline. I mean, Shador, that was the big storyline. But let's just talk about the draft as a whole. How do you feel about the draft?
If I had one takeaway, quarterback play. If I just had one takeaway, it's like, where is this league going with QB play?
Yeah.
2 in the first round. Was it 1 in the second?
No, 2 in the third.
Well, I'm talking about second round.
Ain't nobody taking the second round.
Nobody got taken in the second. Dylan Gabriel went in the third. You're right. You right.
Yeah. You trying to piss me off early.
You know what I'm saying? So quarterback play is just oof. But then again, you could say that for a few positions in this draft where, we kind of even coming into this draft, me and discussed it that this was a, D-line heavy draft, so can't get mad at that. Love that, the traditions are still the traditions. We still living by old law, by, the trenches are still holding up their mantle, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. But, man, I am worried about the quarterback play and where football is heading. Because the crowd has spoken. The crowd has spoken. And the crowd being, owners, coaches, front offices, the like, saying, hey.
Or they're saying, hey, we don't know what we're doing.
Okay.
Heavy on we don't know what we're doing, though.
We're going to get into it. But I also can see where they like, I don't know. The things that traditionally make you a starting quarterback, I'm not seeing too much of it. The things that, that's kind of been added to the game, athleticism, maybe we could take some flyers, but we can't trust it. That's where I'm at with it. I think they seen something. We can't just sit here, and mind you, we about to get into all of that. We can't just sit here and say, yeah, all you guys sitting up there with the stopwatches and the notebooks and the pens and all this stuff, with all your collective years of experience, all you guys are idiots.
Exactly what I'm saying.
All right, let's get into it then.
All right, so my takeaway from the draft is copycat. This is a copycat league. Nobody has an original thought. Nobody has an original plan. This is just a copycat. That's why you saw all these offensive linemen go off the board and all these defensive linemen go off the board real early. Maybe some overrated than others. They're trying to copy what Philly did. They're trying to build. They're trying to find any offensive pairing they can find, big and strong offensive pairing, and then they're trying to find people to stop the run. I think they overpicked for some because you're trying to find the next Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter wasn't in this draft at all.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about it, and we're going to get to your point, they don't know what they're doing. Why did Jalen Carter fall to y'all anyway?
Character concerns?
Yeah, so he fell all the way down to y'all. Wasn't he like the first player rated?
Consensus, like probably the best player in that draft.
Now he about to make like a ton of money. And,
blank checks.
Killing the game. I haven't heard anything about him having any character flaws since. So,
I'm about to say, but best non-quarterback coming out of that draft.
He was the top 4 rated Joker coming out of that draft. And he failed to y'all. So, some people just, some people are going to keep being bad.
Yeah.
And some people are going to stay good. Some people just get it. The Chiefs got better.
True.
The Eagles got better.
Thanks.
With late picks.
Rams got better.
The Lions got better. The Rams got better.
With late picks, yeah.
The Packers got better.
It helps to have somebody that knows what the hell they're doing at the front. It helps.
It helps when you don't just have jokers that look at a computer and want to have one little talk with somebody and think something. It helps when you actually listen to the scouts. That's what I think. Also, another narrative. I don't think people listen to scouts because I don't believe scouts are telling jokers this.
Okay, where are scouts getting their notes from?
The scouts are going to. I'm talking about the scouts to go to the game.
Okay, yeah.
So all this, like how it works is the scouts go to the game.
Agreed.
The scout take their notes.
Agreed.
The scout emails, fax, brings back their notes to GM or said head of player development or head of player director of player personnel. Scout job is done. They ask about the guy, scout tells about guy. Who makes the picks is the people that probably never seen the Joker play but on video, never really talked to nobody.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, that's how you get, during this, that's how, wait a minute, let me finish.
Okay.
That's how jokers get hyped up that never was talked about, get hyped up at the last minute. Because now the GM is involved. Now the head of the personnel is involved. Now the head coach is more involved. Oh, I talked to this guy, I liked him. While the scout them been watching this cat since he was a junior in college.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen every throw, every run, every block they can make.
Right.
But now I talked to this guy. I like him.
Right.
I like him. I like him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Then you make non-football decisions.
But ain't that the job you paying them to do?
Pay who to do?
Your scout.
No, you pay a scout. The scout. I'm saying, I think scouts are doing their job. I think nobody's listening to scouts. I think it's a big push for just Big Ten and SEC players. Because let's keep it a buck. All them Ohio State players were not like that to be drafted that high. And I ain't gonna call no names because, like, where I am.
But yeah, we can do that.
But all them Ohio State guys was not like that to be drafted that high.
I mean, one of the most hyped guys fell to what, 4th or 5th round? Jack Sawyer, The
Joker that had production? The one guy that actually put production? Bro, I was seeing linebackers get picked ahead of my man for Oklahoma, who only had 60 tackles on the year. And he had 100 and plus.
Are you Stuntsman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Man.
that's how I know jokers ain't. Production doesn't mean nothing no more. Production doesn't mean nothing no more. And it's what have you done this year?
About to say
that was heavy on that. Ollie Gordon falling to the 6th round is crazy.
They're gonna pay for that.
Luther Burden going to the Bears in the 3rd, 2nd or 3rd. I can't remember. We'll get into it a little later, but him having 1,200 yards in 2023 came into this year's wide receiver 1, played on a bad football team. And doesn't get picked. But his quarterback, though, is supposed to be a top quarterback for next year. Make it make sense to me.
But it's the age-old question, right? What are we scouting here? Or what do you value more, I should say? Do we value stats and production, or do we value traits and athleticism? So if I say I got a guy that
who we talking about? We're talking about the receivers, or we talking about in general?
Across the board.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying because if we talk about traits and athleticism, he way better than the nigga that we drafted.
But hold on. So you say, let's use the comparison between Luther Burden and McMillan, right? Since we're there.
When did McMillan come on the scene? When he made them crazy ass, when he had that 20-yard game.
Was it a year ago? Not just 2024 season, but 2023 season.
End of the year, yeah. But Luther had been like killing the game from Missouri. 1,200 yards. I think he had like 10 touchdowns, I want to say. Killing it. Unblockable. And then now here come the stuff talking about, some character issues. They said he doesn't run hard every route. That's how I know football people are not making decisions. Do you run full speed every route?
No. No. Absolutely. I think it's honestly
when
impossible
stuff like
to
that
do so.
Start coming out, I'm like, what are we talking about?
Right.
He said, Tom Shaver was like, that's why his ass don't work for ESPN no more. He was talking about sometimes he takes off routes. He doesn't run hard every route. If he's playing a concept route where he's literally changing what he does depending on what the defense shows.
Well, it's not my responsibility.
Maybe the route was supposed to go for let's just make it something for our listeners, a go route. But if he see that play at deep quarters, he could break that off and sit in space.
Right.
So you can't just do that on the stop of a dime. You don't run hard. You don't run your hardest every route.
And we're talking about timing too. So there's a lot of things off paper that doesn't equate to running hard every route because, hey, this route's supposed to be at 7. I'm running it so it's going to be at 7. If you try to run 100% and stop at 7, go ahead, go for it.
Thank you.
I would love to see. I love to see you in the medical tent.
So that's all I'm saying.
But just real quick, just to go back to my overarching statement is that we see a cat like McMillan who fits the height weight metric, and he's shown enough to where he can win 50-50. All right, cool. Maybe with some tutelage, train him up, he can, down the road, year 3, year 5, you know what I'm saying, that he can be the XY receiver that we thought he had the potential to be. Whereas you got Luther Burden, we might be looking at him like, all right, he already hit his peak of who he is as a player. That's what I'm saying, that comparison of
I get that projection
exactly.
over the finish.
Exactly.
But the Carolina Panthers were sorry now. When we gonna get better? Keep projecting. Ain't much left to project.
All right. But you gotta at one point you gotta hit on an X receiver. At some point. You got to.
Well, you done drafted 2 back-to-back, so
somebody gotta work. It's the same way with a crapshoot a little bit when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Draft until you get your guy.
Well, or not draft.
and then just make the team better, I guess.
It's crazy. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about some of the top stuff. We're gonna get the Shador, stick with us, hang with us. We're gonna get there because when we get there, we're gonna be there. So I want to get off some other stuff. First off, for the people that took the top 5, I think the Browns are stupid. I think the Browns are stupid. The Browns have a consistency of trading back and missing out on players. They did it for Julio Jones. They did it for somebody else. Dang, it just lost me. I had that. I should have wrote this down. But I know they did for Julio Jones.
Saquon,
I think it was. Maybe Saquon.
It was the Baker Mayfield draft.
Yeah, Saquon. When are the Browns going to learn? Sometimes it's just okay to don't make 2 + 2 5. Make it 4. You at 2, especially how the draft ended up going, they traded down, got Mason Graham. Then they turn around and get Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur. If you was going to get 2 quarterbacks, why not go get Travis? Why not? That's really the only person. Why not get Travis? Your offensive line need help. Why not get Will Campbell, who's probably the most ready to go finished product in the whole draft?
They didn't know.
And this is no doubt knock against Mason Graham. You know I'm a Mason Graham fan.
Right.
But the way you lined up your draft is dumb. You went and got Quinshon Judkins.
Turned around and got who?
Dylan
Sampson.
Dylan Sampson. When Caleb was still there, Travion was still there. You went and got the same back like Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
No knock against Quinshon. I like him. No knock against Mason Graham. I think Mason Graham on that line is going to be great with Myles Garrett. But you had a chance that you could have got Travis. Instead, you let the Jags trade up and you get Jags got Travis. They go with their quarterback because they have one.
Okay.
Then the Browns get a quarterback that nobody else was going to get. Even his agent said he wasn't going to get drafted to the 6th or 7th. They wasn't expecting to get called to like the 5th or 6th round, even the 7th round.
Go ahead. Are you ready for me?
I'm talking about the top 5 teams that picked.
Yeah.
I think the Browns fumbled their draft, and I think this is my future for the Browns, right? Without going in depth. I think Jimmy had the Haslam, the owner, came down there and made them go get Shedeur. I do believe that. I think he said, go get Shedeur Sanders. He's at 5, 5th round, go get Shedeur Sanders, because I don't know. I don't like the direction this is going. And I think that might have saved their jobs.
Yeah.
Because you're going into the career. My phone, I'm gonna let you go. You going into the this is what I think Tommy Rees. And shout out Tommy Rees, you know what I'm saying? Young brother, Ivy League education, you know what I'm saying? Might be good at baseball. But this is what I think their whole plan was. Flacco or Pickett, 1-2. We don't really need a quarterback. We're gonna wait the next year. Even if we're bad, at worst, we'll get Archie next year if we're bad. Because we traded and got a top pick for the Jags again. They're banking on that Jags pick to be a top pick. They were planning for next year instead of trying to be good now. When you almost just lost your star player, you had to pay him an astronomical amount of money, well-deserved, to keep. And then you don't even take probably the best athlete on the board, even though we're going to talk about how we feel about Travis a little bit later.
Yeah.
But at 2, and what his production was, go get him or go get Will Campbell. If you're going to trade, I thought when they traded down, I thought they were going to trade behind New England. I thought they wanted the offensive lineman when they traded down.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting Mason Graham to go that high. Like 5.
Let's say Will Campbell went at 4.
Went at 4, though. That's why I said they don't draft Travis and they don't get Abdul. I thought, you know what I'm saying? I thought that might be one of the years where they get an offensive tackle. Because Will Campbell, and people that don't know, he's been good ever since he's been in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Been dominant. 4 years of LSU, dominant. You need an offensive line, to help. But they didn't do that. So I think their whole plan before the owner stepped in was to portray the next year. They were perfectly fine with going in this year with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco.
Here's the problem with that. Some people, some pundits like to big up trading back, recouping picks, especially if you don't move too far off your mark.
Or you need a little bit of everything.
Exactly. You don't move too far off your mark. So in the Browns case, they move from 2 to 5. That's cool. You still stay in the top 5. You have glaring holes all over your roster. Also, that's cool and decent. So You pick up more picks, so you get to fill more needs on your roster. Great. I think there's actually more pressure on the teams that actually trade back than the ones that trade up. So the people for the teams that trade up, they know who their guy is. They know who they want in that selection.
I can explain it.
So that indecisiveness, when you move back and you're like, oh, damn, this is who I'm left with, that's where the pressure's on. That's when the heat starts to turn up. So when you miss out on, like Anthony just illustrated, you miss out on Will Campbell. You miss out on Abdul Carter. Travis is gone. Cam is gone. Okay, our worst case scenario is coming to reality. Now we have to get who's the best player available. In that case, I'm not too mad at Mason Graham.
No, it's not against the pick.
Yeah, right. So I'm talking about your first round.
Yeah.
Now, the following picks, you got 2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, as the rest of their 2025 draft spells out.
Mm.
Be clear, after the first round of 2026, that trade move is spent up. Just like that. You had to hit on all those picks, on all those extra picks that you got, and that first round 2026. After that, now we get to judge you. Was it worth it? Does any of those picks that you just made, whether it's Quishon, Dylan Sampson, Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders, anybody rest from that this 2025 draft class, do all of those match the production that Travis Hunter is potentially about to have at Jacksonville? If the answer is no, you failed. So the pressure is on now. And the fact that you use 4 of those picks at 2 of the same positions,
nasty.
That's nasty work. Make a damn decision. In my estimate, because as Anthony just illustrated, we got Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun's on IR. I don't care if it's Dylan or Shador. If your plan is just to punt to next year, and use those quality picks that you got right now to fill those glaring holes that we just discussed. If you want to be out the race, just throw your hands up and say, "Hey, we out the race." I'm not entertaining none of the craziness. But the fact that you said, "Hey, we're gonna go Quishon and then double back for Dylan Sampson," hey, bruh.
You had Travion sitting right there.
Okay, just pick your gut.
Right
it's
there.
decisiveness. It's the fear of being wrong.
Yep.
And the fear of being wrong, you're still gonna be wrong because you missed out on other talent that could have helped your roster in the long haul.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, all you trying to do is master production and the winning mindset of one player that the Jags knew they wanted. And Travis Hunter.
Yep.
That's all you trying to be.
What did you turn those picks into?
Exactly. So all this boils down to is indecisiveness.
I think the 4 picks on two positions is nasty. 4 picks on 2 positions, and it would have worked too. All you had to do was just not draft Dylan Gabriel that early. If they got Dylan in the 5th, even if it was before Shador, probably wouldn't have hurt shit. But you jumped up and got him in the 3rd, like, this is my guy. And everybody looking at you like, Dylan?
Yeah. Now, what's even more foolish is, like, let's say Joe ain't the guy, Kenny ain't the guy, Deshaun's still hurt.
5 quarterbacks.
About to say, and I'm just saying, throughout all those 5 quarterbacks you got, you still decide none of those are your guy.
And now you got to go into next year, want another quarterback. Now you look like, that's why the Browns have had 40 quarterbacks in these past years.
Again, that's why I see why some analysts are like, bro, you should have just stuck with Baker.
And it wasn't Baker.
You know what I'm saying?
Baker balling down in the bus.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You should have just stick with your guy. And that's, again, just decisiveness.
I like that. I like what you're saying. It looked like their whole draft. That's a good thing for their indecisiveness. They was indecisive.
But you're trying to replicate success at 2 positions. Now, one, their quarterback hasn't been that steady since who?
Bernie Kosar.
Running back position, and just in more recent history, your running back position hasn't been stable since what? Nick Chubb been healthy?
Yeah. And you still don't know how he about to come back. He's still coming back. Like, he played last year, but you don't know if he's full 100%.
On their active roster right now, I think it's like Jerome Ford and maybe some other guy. So that's why I'm not too mad at getting Quishon and another running back.
I'm just mad with like.
But you use the quality picks at
board was though.
Exactly.
Like, because I know people like different people, but they were just drafting people out of order that nope. And not just talking about Mel. I'm talking about all the draft analysts. This is their job.
Yeah.
So they all are not wrong about how they rate these players. It might be a couple position off, but Quishon was behind a good bit of running
Yeah,
backs.
he was good between RB6 at peak. He was somewhere between RB7 and RB5. I'll probably say that.
Exactly. So like the consensus was that Travion and Caleb was better.
Yeah.
That was the consensus. And y'all jumped and did that. Then most people didn't have Dylan as like what QB10. He was behind Riley Leonard, I think, in a lot of people's eyes. Behind Will Howard. Behind McCord.
Quinn even probably at some point.
And then you draft.
And that was third round too.
A 5'11", 200-pound quarterback. With not a strong arm. Playing in Keelan. And then, but at the same knot that people have on Shedeur. As being not a strong arm. But I don't see them make every throw. So I don't know where that comes from. So
in your first two, and we're gonna get off kicking off. Well, we probably not gonna get away from kicking the Browns back.
No, we got some other teams kicking in.
Yeah, but so in your first two picks, you go Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger. Now, the plan for Mason Graham, I get it. Strengthen up the interior defensive line.
A tackle that can pass rush.
Again, somebody that can benefit from the attention Myles Garrett get. Again, you ain't gonna have too much argument between the both of us. You ain't gonna get too much argument from investing in the trenches.
No,
that's at any point we can make a argument for why you invest there. But
and talented too.
Exactly. So especially in the case of Mason Graham. Thank you. So Carson Schlesinger, Jeremiah Owusu Kamara, I think that's how you say it. Think he was banged up. You need somebody to, man in the middle of that defense. Cool, that's great. You think he's a value? Fine. I don't think Jim Schwartz was ever that, out back with that, with that defense he got, so they can stop some folks. Need some help for sure. Getting to the quarterback for sure. But now the clock is on.
Yeah.
Now the clock is on.
Let's see how it goes. I mean, this didn't make sense to me. Let's start talk off with the draft too. Let's just do this real quick because I think ESPN did a bad job of it. Shout out to Cam Ward, #1 pick overall.
Mm-hmm.
It was his moment. He was #1 pick of the draft. Nobody's talking about him because of the other stuff. But IDK Sports Podcast pretty much knew that Cam Ward was going to be #1 quarterback. Like his just beyond all the other quarterbacks, I still think he was just head and heels. Just got more talent, more upside, strong arm, athleticism, improvisation. Just had a little bit of everything where it would have been dumb not to take him #1.
Yeah.
And I don't think I really would have him as what? Even in everybody talk about last year's draft, he wouldn't have been like that. I think if you redraft last year's draft and add Cam Ward, I think he right after Bo? Because JJ didn't play.
Yeah, JJ, Jaden, Drake May.
Yeah, so I would definitely be. It would still be.
Yeah, even if you redrafted, I probably still have him at the Jaden. Honestly,
Caleb probably be QB2, but then Bo
would be 3,
and then I would put Cam Ward over what's some of the boys' names? JJ and Drake May.
I'm saying I would probably still have him 3. Like again, if this was a redraft, I'll probably have him somewhere behind Jaden and Bo.
Yeah. Oh, you got Caleb behind Cam?
Say it one more time.
You got Caleb behind Cam?
Oh, I got Caleb was there too.
That's why it'd probably be the 4th round.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right.
But at the same time, I still think that I just think like out of this draft, head over heels, the best quarterback in this draft. And the Titans need a quarterback. Couldn't do it again.
Yeah,
like go get your guy.
That's the and that's the position to do it. You got the first pick, get your guy. And like we just said, if your quarterback isn't in the building right now, go get one. Yeah, that's one of those positions you just keep drafting until you get it right.
So got that. Let's talk about the Giants draft early picks. I get why you pick Abdul Carter at 3. I just don't understand
the plan for him.
the plan for the defensive line.
Okay.
It's a lot of high picks and money in there. You're talking about Thibodeau, first round pick, right? Brian Burns just got paid him a ton of money. Got Dexter Lawrence up there. Now you got Abdul Carter, high first round pick. Where do you put him? Like, I know he's not playing inside.
Why not?
Did you see him play inside a little bit in college?
What I'm saying,
it was not good.
It's almost it's almost the same system. I would think, just bringing it back home for me, the Eagles too, because it's like they're in a position where they still got Kayvon. I think long term, Abdul can still be an edge because Kayvon is coming up on a they just picked up his 5th-year option, so they probably got 2 more years before they can move Abdul out to edge. But for their first 2 years, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hold down that weak side linebacker position. That's cool. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody to run with Bobby Okereke. You already got Bobby Okereke there. So you don't need a guy like the guy to run their defense because Bobby's still there.
I don't know if he covers good enough for this.
Right? He got to learn. But he's still a wet. But the thing is, if your plan is to have your best players on the field, that's the way to keep them all on the field.
Exposure. I mean, when he blitzing, great. But when you got to drop back or cover a tight end, is Abdul that guy that can do that?
That's, again, we talking about Isaiah Simmons now. That's the same.
That's the same thing that the Cowboys tried with Micah. Tried to put Micah inside when they had Dexter Lawrence and the boys.
Yeah, but at a certain degree,
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, but at the same degree, Micah was disruptive. He wasn't dominant. You know, he didn't become dominant until he got on the edge, but he was disruptive, at least in the run game
and a liability.
You know what I'm saying? You asked me for what the plan is right now. That's where I can see the current plans. Like, hey, I need my best players on the field right now. You got to go chase Jay. You know what I'm saying? If you need somebody to run and chase, Jaden, Dak, Jalen, that's my best front 7. And again, that could be how they're looking at it. And it doesn't hurt because I know you have your reservations about Abdul. Shit, I do too. But at least you're putting an athlete on the field that can probably that has a closer chance of getting you off the field on 3rd down. If at the end of the day, that's all you get, like I said, a run and chase linebacker, go for it. They can spy, get that quarterback on the ground when you need it, or take care of that outlet option in Saquon or Austin Eckler. You know what I'm saying? Get those guys on the ground that can run and chase. It's a benefit. It's a benefit. It's a benefit. And that's the best plan I got for you, brother. That's the best plan I got for you.
I just don't. I mean, hey, I like it's not like I don't like the pick. It's just saying I just don't trust the Giants to have a good plan for anything. Because I think their coaches and coach and GM is going to get fired this year anyway. So, they're not going to let them have another bad season and keep their job.
Well, I think that's why they also have some protections in place too. So, you got you bring in Russell, you bring in Jameis. So we about to move on to Jackson Dart here in a little bit. You had the protection for him. But at least on the defensive side of the ball, you just behind Bobby Okereke and Abdul, who I think may be off ball this year, right behind them, you go and sign Javon Holland, to take care of the back end of the secondary of your defense. You know what I'm saying? So do what you can. Yeah. Try to add some protections into where you're still competitive.
But you're not going to be.
It's a tough division.
Let's okay. So we talked about Jackson Dart, right? And everybody keeps saying Brian Daboll just whispered. That's why he got hired, right? To fix Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. Now they determined they paid him. So they thought he could fix him.
Yeah. And
then he couldn't, right? So now you let him pick another quarterback. Ever since being with the Giants, he's went 9-7, 5-12, 3-14. It's an 18-32 record.
9-12 and 3-14.
Yeah. Right. Offenses look horrible. Looks like some people have even said high school, college offense. It doesn't look good. That didn't look good.
Yeah, okay. Hey, just to be clear, we're talking about like a Daniel Jones team
You paid him, so that doesn't
That decision-
not being your guy
Still
would have
falls
been
on you.
that no. Just because you didn't draft him, you had all the opportunity to keep Saquon and not pay him and go get a quarterback last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't.
No
You
argument here.
literally said on that meeting thing, y'all said that Jaden Daniels, that Daniel Jones was better than Jaden Daniels. The GM said that. I heard it. Even his son said you're stupid.
Oh, you talking about hard knocks off.
So now let's get into it. So now that's your guy. You couldn't make that work. Why would I have faith that you can make Jackson Dart work? If I'm Jackson Dart, I'm actually kind of upset. I'm playing in the big market, the Giants. Of course, you ain't gonna be so upset.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of upset because like I hate that. That's another topic that we about to get into. Like I hate these so-called quarterback gurus, great coaches that talk about being great coaches, but have only done it with great players. It wasn't you, big dog. It was Josh Allen.
Talk about it.
You didn't fix shit.
Talk about it.
Josh Allen just grew up mature and stopped throwing picks. Made better decisions.
Yeah.
You called the play, he did his thing.
Yeah.
This year he won the MVP because you let the reins off. They let him be more athletic this year. And he had Stephon Diggs. And he had a whole better team. That team that you was coaching up there, that was better. Now you get here, right? Y'all draft Malik Neighbors. Everybody knew Malik Neighbors was going to be nice. It's simple, right? You don't draft Jaden Daniels. You pay Daniel Jones. Because, I forgot, the GM came from the Patriots organization, so he's supposed to be.
He has to know what he's doing.
Right? You draft Daniel Jones. You pay Daniel Jones. Now, everybody from that decision that you made from Daniel Jones is not even there no more. Xavier McKinney's gone. Saquon's gone. Daniel Jones is gone. So now, you still think you're the smartest person in the room and you go get Jackson Dart that nobody was talking about. So they said, oh man, I went and watched the tape and his tape was great. And it wasn't talking about him during the season at all, right? Over Shedeur Sanders. Then now it's coming out that Shedeur Sanders, supposed to be from Brian Daboll, from Todd McShay, from that Brian Daboll, that Shedeur Sanders didn't come prepared for an installation package that was given to him and the interview was bad, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to call bullshit on that. You just want to save face. Draft the person that you want, be decisive, and say, this was my guy. Don't try to knock Shedeur name down because you're trying to tell me a person that grew up in the spotlight his whole life to one of the greatest NFL players ever that's been through this system wasn't prepared. He wouldn't have him prepared. He probably knew more about the interview process than all of them or anybody that was coming in.
I would believe so.
So why would he not come prepared?
I don't. That's why I don't believe that story about him being unprepared. Again, if it's one thing to say you don't like his attitude off the field, but when it comes time for work, Deion has never been like one to be chummy with when it's time to work. And you can see that from the time, Deion is coaching in practice to Deion on the sideline. Like to his best effort, I should say, he tried to get his players ready. And I don't think, again,
and maybe your install was trash. You're 18 and what? What I say? 18 and what? 18 and 32, big dog. Maybe you're not prepared. What are you so prepared for? To lose? You're not like. I'm tired of talking about jokers that they say he can really coach his tail off. Yo, show me like Kevin O'Connell. Show me when your plan A go away that you still win 14 games with Sam Darnold, who everybody thought was washed up. Show me a Matt Campbell who the whole team was hurt, still win 15 games. Show me a Matt LaFleur where I tell Aaron Rodgers to kick freaking rocks and I bring Jordan Love in here and we'll get active. And they got better too. Because them receivers, they bring it. Christian Watson, adios. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, go ahead and pack your bags up, big dog.
And then Romeo Dobbs best out catching the ball. Jalen Reed probably only one safe.
That's a fact.
And low key with him, you know what I'm saying? Outside bar, Jalen Reed might be the next. I'm telling you, I said it about Devontae. He got the skills to do it. He just got to
tough, bro.
Put it all together.
He tough.
But Show me Sean McVay, who steadily going to the playoffs with a team that's nowhere near as talented.
You can't even match that on this because the roster looking at this roster first glance, bro. You wouldn't believe it, but guess what? Been to the playoffs the last 2 years.
You know, show me what's your man for the Colts. They keep winning. They look good. Y'all owe OC.
Shane Steichen.
Yeah. Went to the Colts. Carter Minshew won them 10 games. Right? Anthony Richard, Joe Flacco, they was all in there. They won about 8 games this year.
Yeah, they was up for
they was right there on the bubble. Like, show me that. Don't tell me a good coach, show me. Even if I go back to Brian Daboll stats, you know what I'm saying? When he was an OC, he's never had only time he had a top ranked offense is when he had Josh Allen. All them other years, he was right in the bottom of the league. So what are we talking about? Y'all put him in the same light like my man down there, that call plays down there in Miami, the head coach. You're not him. You're not Cal Shanahan. You're not none of them, bro. So like people keep putting him in like, oh, he's such a great man. He really can dial it up. He knows he can really develop quarterbacks. When?
All you need is one. All you need is one quarterback. All you got to show proof is one. All you got to do is show one.
So now this shit, right? All right. So now y'all done gutted the team. Y'all gonna throw Russell out there. Ain't got nothing to work with. It is what it is. But the Giants are gonna be the Giants, bro. The Giants are gonna be the Giants. When I say that, some people know what that means. Some people don't. I'm not about to say it on this airway. But the Giants gonna be the Giants, bro. The Giants gonna be the Giants, man.
Fair enough.
And
I just
that's what I got.
If it's safest company, like I said, you build protections in case of that. Like I'm with Anthony. I still believe at the end of this year, Autumn Cat's gone.
It should have been fired this year.
That's a fact. But I mean, you build protections for those in case of everything goes to crap. So on defense, like you said, you still got Dexter Lawrence there. You double down. You get Darius Alexander, who I think was a really highly touted prospect that you still caught in the second round. Good pick.
Didn't they go get a safety?
You know what I'm saying?
Xavier McKinney walked to go get a safety.
Then you made the idiot decision of letting Xavier McKinney go. So what you do?
All pro.
You know what I'm saying? You just use that same money you could have gave him. You go use it and go spend it on Javon Holland. But I don't stay here that long. So you let Saquon go, and then you draft Cam Scatterbo.
That just pissed me off again. See, that's why you 18 and what I say again, 32. 32.
Yeah, but you
drafted Cam Scatterbo before Bichon too.
And this is all because mind you, I know the people that's gonna respond to this is like, well, what about the cap? What about the salary cap? Again, good organizations stay good because they have the foresight.
Pay early.
They have the few that they can predict.
How the Eagles pay everybody early.
Eagles stay ahead of the the predictive salary is going to be without paying early.
They not paying Jalen no $60 million right now.
Hell no. But I know that's where the number's about to go. But I'm going to let the 49ers hold that tab now that Brock Purdy's up.
They pay that man too.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Brock, don't take nothing less between 55 and 60. Tell them you from Arizona. You ain't from San Francisco. Ain't no hometown discount.
But you get, you know what I'm saying?
Playing with my man out there,
bro. Y'all just making it worse. Y'all just making it worse.
Pay that man.
I swear that signing bonus going up every day y'all wait.
Yeah, boy, you better hope about them sign.
But man, where was that? But yeah, they just the Giants just built in protections in case of everything just fall to crap. But hey, I don't wish you the best. I don't wish you the best.
So let's just how you feel about the Jackson Dart pick?
Oh, I love it. As an Eagles fan, I love it. I love it.
But it's funny how people talk about how Shedeur had his stuff set up. You see what a common theme of this episode is. But how Shedeur had his stuff set up by his dad. But who's the head coach of Ole Miss?
Lane Kiffin.
And ain't Lane Kiffin one of the better play callers in the country?
No question.
Cause didn't he take like Blake Sims and them to the championship?
Yeah. I remember that.
Like Lane Kiffin can draw it up better than probably 90%.
He got your boy Mac Jones. He had him looking good at Bama.
Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, They got it, bro. They got it, bro. Who else I want to talk about in the first round before we get into Shador?
Jags. I mean, we knocked out everybody from Jags,
Pittsburgh.
Patriots because they was all top 5.
Pittsburgh. What the hell? At some point, you got to draft a quarterback. Ben is not coming back. Terry Bradshaw ain't coming back. They always wait forever to get a quarterback.
There has to be a deal in place. Is my only thing that make me, because I don't believe Mike Tomlin gonna let us go out like that, bro. There has to be a deal in place. It's just, well, maybe one day Aaron will stop by the facility, he'll actually sign it. But there has to be a deal in place because there's no way in hell. And even if there was a deal in place, I'm not succumbing to whatever hell like Aaron Rodgers' demands are.
Like
I'm not sign. I won't sign because if you draft somebody, I'm only gonna sign after the draft day, bruh. I just got done watching the shit show that you had on primetime with the Jets all last season.
Horrible.
I'm not guaranteeing you nothing. Nothing. Boy, you mess around. I make a deal with the Falcons to get Kirk up here.
I don't know why the Steelers, they held on Terry Bradshaw too long, missed out on the quarterback. Got Ben, had quarterbacks they could have had him waiting for Ben. They just won't draft a I don't. They think they're a quarterback away. They're not a quarterback away. They're not. They need offensive line help. They need, and I don't. Never mind. They got a running back.
Caleb Johnson.
I do like the D tackle pickup in the first
Derek
round.
Harmon, good
I like
player.
that. But for you to have value sitting there in all them rounds, and you not to say, hey, let me get a quarterback. No, I'm going to get more defense.
To be fair, they was picking at pick 20, 21. So that tells you that they're not a bad team. Same with, we just got done talking about the Colts, one of those teams that just sit on the bubble, So they're not a bad
But you know what division you play in? You not having not having a quarterback is an issue.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe Will Howard turns into something. You know what I mean?
You could have got both. You could have got Shador in the 4th and Will in the 6th. That's what you were gonna do. That would have made sense. Because right now all you got is Mason Rudolph. Will Howard's better than him right now.
I'm not making no agreement with somebody that's not on my roster. I don't care what you say. I don't care. If Aaron, because there was a point where Aaron was debating on going to Minnesota.
You don't know if that's still in the cards.
Bruh, Aaron was like, the Vikings was like, bro, I don't care what Aaron decided to do. We still gonna trade for Sam Howell.
Yeah.
We still got JJ McCarthy. Again, I'm not arguing or I'm not deliberating with somebody that's not on my roster and I'm not going to draft day like that. I'm not basing the future of my team on what someone may or may not do. And I'm not, I could be completely off base. But by their decision making this past weekend, it tells me that, hey, you must be damn certain that come week 1, somebody better than Mason Rudolph is going to be behind center. Because there's no way in hell you think you're going to expect to keep your job if that's the case, if Mason Rudolph is starting week 1.
Yeah, you're not probably one of the worst years.
Yeah, Brett, go ahead. You don't even wait. Don't even wait for the firing text message to come to your phone. Because it's going to happen. You wouldn't even waste the resources on getting DK over in Pittsburgh if that was the case, if you was going to have Mason Rudolph at behind center.
I think they whole offseason got messed up when Justin Fields signed with the Jets instead of with them. And that was dumb anyway. If you really like Justin Fields, why didn't you let him play when Russell started sliding?
And that was the case back in March. You had over a month to deliberate.
To a 1-year deal.
Bro, you about to have voluntary OTAs coming up. You still don't know who your QB1 is. That's what I'm saying. I hope, I pray that deal was signed at least in pencil before you go into draft weekend.
You basically got Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and probably some other bull crap.
I guarantee you, because boy, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but shit, if I was Mike, I'm not letting it go past June before I make a trade for Kirk Cousins to come up to Pittsburgh.
Now flirted trying to get Trevor Lawrence, which that's weird to me. Trevor Lawrence ain't done nothing down there in Jacksonville. Probably low key looking like a bust.
Need somebody to blame. You know what I'm saying? They starting to blame Trevor Etienne.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why again, to Ant's point, they end up getting based off too. Again, that's called, knowing your roster and managing your roster for pitfalls. I know I can flip Etienne for a pick. I know I can flip Trevor Lawrence for a pick. You know what I'm saying? So you build protections in the case of, hey, in the long term, Trevor's not our guy. I still got some capital that I can play with, that I can bundle with another player. But now you put all chips in the table for this guy. If speaking of Pittsburgh, and I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
He didn't do nothing last year that made me feel like he's that guy.
I don't get it.
Who's that? We want to talk about the Jaguars. The reason the Jaguars is really about the Travis pick, right?
Yeah.
Travis. What? Thumbs down. Travis Hunter. This is not a knock on Travis for me. This is a more like a what if, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Travis could be the greatest thing, one of the biggest things, biggest hits ever, like second round, or it could go really bad, or it can go really bad too. And I think a lot of people don't talk about that. Sometimes, when you're good at everything but a master at none, sometimes it hurts you. I think they drafted him that high to be a receiver because usually you get people that get touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't that great of a DB to draft him that high. So this is like you're trying to get a great a receiver to touchdowns, punt returns, kick returns, something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's going to take some. He still is a project. No matter how great he look, I know he won the Heisman. His route running has something to be desired. He's not that big to be a 50-50 guy in the pros. He has great ball skills. I always say he can catch the ball better than a lot of jokers.
Athletic as hell.
He's very athletic. I think Travis is going to have an uphill battle with, learning to master one craft.
Yeah.
Even if he plays DB a little bit, they want to play primarily receiver, he's going to have to master. And that's where the problem could come in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's not a big guy. You know what I'm saying? He's just a very athletic guy, a great athlete. And I'm not saying don't take a chance there with a great athlete. You know what I'm saying? You can't teach some people some stuff.
Right.
He just wakes up out the morning as a great athlete. But I do think it is an opportunity there where maybe he might not be what everybody's hoping for, or it could fall flat on your face. I think the chance of that is kind of lower, but he has to really, the receiver coach will have to work with him because he's going to have to get his route running up to be ready to be a number one, even number two target right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think DB is the spot. I think his body's just not built for DB.
Yeah, same.
You know?
Yeah, I think the physical demands of playing, corner is just too much. I understand you're not exactly a linebacker or a safety, but bro, there's still some physicality that comes with that position to where, you still gonna have to match up with guys like Pittman, who's right there in his division. This is some out of division, but AJ Brown, where you just have to match up with physical corners week in and week out. It's not going to be always speed and finesse that you might get out of Calvin Ridley when they go play the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or was it Nico Collins over there for the Texans? Like, bro, those are some physical corners that are some physical receivers that you're going to play with. So again, just give him one task. And if that one task is to be a dominant on the offensive side of the ball as a receiver, whether it's running routes, jet sweeps, wide receiver screens to where you can just let his athleticism shine, go for it. But he has, with being a Heisman, Biletnikoff, right? Biletnikoff Award winner, all these accolades he has to his name, I still believe he's one of the most boom or bust potential players that I've seen in recent memory. Just because that split, that dual time on offensive defense very much lended himself to being, like Anthony said, a jack of all trades, master of none. And we're not talking about Charles Woodson here. You know what I'm saying? Pristine cornerback play. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, or seen that on a consistent basis. Wide receiver play. I've seen him being athletic, but also I've seen him in a myriad of other drafted wide receivers, which are Will Shepherds, LaJohntay Websters, Jimmy Horns, where he played on the same wide receiver, was in the same wide receiver room with all those guys that just got drafted this past weekend. So Shedeur had options. And sometimes that option led to Travis having a good game, Will Shepard having a good game, LaJohntay Webster having a good game. Like, everybody had a chance in that offense. So maybe sometimes when we saw Travis, it was just his day. But it's still, when I say being on a consistent basis, I don't know yet. Now we could come back next year. We could be very much wrong. Travis done killed it. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jags in the playoffs. Hey, shut up. I wouldn't tell me to shut up. I don't care. You got it. But I just see it as like, bro, if you don't give him one assignment early and try to, make him fill all the needs of your roster, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fall flat on your face.
Yeah. And that's just what it is with Travis. I think he's gonna be a good player. I'm just saying, like, maybe not great, but I think he's gonna be a good serviceable player, good player. I think it might take some time. I think it might be some growing pains, and I hope people give him time because how dominant he was, how special he was in college. Sometimes it takes a little time to get adjusted to the pro game. Takes a little time to get adjusted to the pro game. So let's say we're about an hour in. Might as well go and get to it. Shedeur Sanders drops from a top-rated player down to 5th round. Why?
I can't tell you. Not even in rational sense, it doesn't make sense. Nah. Even being illogical, it doesn't make sense. Not in no shape or form is that a 5th round player. That's first round talent all day long. Now, if you want to make a case for some on the field or off the field, even then,
but what off the field?
Again, thank you. Even off the field, what criminal charges are we looking at?
What did he do?
If we're not talking about criminal charges, keep in mind this is still a kid. Yeah. Yes, he has some maturing to do.
All of them.
If you're, thank you. In any shape of, if you as a GM, we come from the old school, bro. Like most, it's only till like recent now that a lot of like first round quarterbacks are expected to play day one. First round quarterbacks used to be stashed on the roster. Can't have a headset and and a call sheet. That was the way of developing and from your path to maturity and development. So, bro, don't tell me nothing about him being immature or being too flashy or being like, bro, I don't know how many executive decisions any of us was making at 21, 22. So don't feed me immaturity.
When you're going up against cats that's 30, they might be a little bit more mature than you. You're only 20.
That's the rookie. That's the whole rookie class.
Huh?
That's the whole rookie class.
With them jokers 30?
No, I'm saying everybody in that class. Well, unless you Tyler Shough, everybody has a age gap. That same age gap amongst their peers.
Man, I don't know because a lot of older than. I personally don't get it. I think it was not about talent. It was personal. You're gonna hear stories about he didn't interview well. You're gonna hear the stories that he was too arrogant. You're gonna hear all that. It wasn't about that. It was personal. They didn't like what his daddy said, even though John Elway's dad said he wasn't gonna play for the Colts. Said he was gonna play baseball. Still got drafted and traded. Archie Manning, same thing with Eli. Said he wasn't going to the Chargers. Would not sign. What's the difference? He said, I just wanted some teams that I don't want my son to go to. That's all he said.
And this is where we about to lock horns.
I mean, he said,
good. Because this is and I just gave you the case for Shador. I'm not buying that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
Tell me immaturity, whatever. Now, in the case of Dion, boy, you know how we get down up here. You know how we roll up here. The league hasn't changed that much.
Archie knew too, though.
This is still a good old, my next phrase, this is still a good old boy club.
Okay.
You know how we rocking up here.
Okay.
You don't have that much sway to where you can affect what's happened up here.
As a Hall of Famer?
The shield is still the shield. Don't get that twisted.
So you take it out on the son.
When you have the audacity to say, bro, we're the same league that hasn't seen or heard from Colin Kaepernick in a while. What we think? Who you think Shador is to us?
That's a fact.
Don't play with us.
That's a fact.
Boy, I can show you better than I can tell you, my boy.
They damn sure did.
Don't play with the shield. So you popping out an interview saying what you about to do and who you can control where your son can go. Oh, we got that control too, big dog. Again, I can show you better than I can tell you. You want to tell me about Archie? Yeah, he's sitting up there. He right back there. He right over there. Get down and lay down. Nah.
Yes.
You prime time to them.
That's nasty work.
Boy, get in your place.
That's nasty work. But that's just what it was. It was about his father. Some of them, it wasn't even just about what he said. Some of them can't handle Dion being associated. I'm not even saying in. Dion got to coach a whole team in Colorado. He not about to be in your meeting rooms and stuff like that. He just, you can't handle primetime being associated with your franchise. That's called insecurity. Insecurity showed with these people. Brian Daboll is stupid. Take him out.
I can't. Please don't make me make a case for Brian Daboll. Please don't.
He's stupid. Take him out. He think The Browns don't understand it. Pittsburgh don't know. I don't know what their plan is. I guess they Aaron Rodgers in, right? Team that shocked me too longer and longer. I'm surprised the Raiders didn't do it.
You said Raiders?
I'm surprised the Raiders longer and longer went. I'm surprised the Raiders didn't take them.
I mean, because you locked in Geno
for 3 years. So really, what? One in the pop?
Again, I just got done talking about maturity. That's a perfect. That's a perfect case of sitting him on the bench for a while.
Don't know why Kellen Moore didn't do it. Everything that
Saints, yeah.
Everything that Kellen Moore rocks with is accuracy, little bit of movement, play action pass. Tyler Shuck broke a leg or a shoulder. Let's talk about Tyler Shuck, who got him out the club. Let's talk about that, right?
ISO ain't.
This man been here since 2017, big dog. It's 2025, bro. He was the number one player coming out of Arizona. You know who else came out of Arizona that same year?
I don't know.
Brock Purdy. How many years has Brock Purdy been in the league?
3, 4,
2, 3. He was in Super Bowl.
Rookie year, right?
Rookie 2.
No, because he's up for a contract. Had to be 3 or 4.
Had to be 3. Brock Purdy came out the same year. The same year, big dog. All right, you know who he backed up his first year when he committed to Oregon? Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
How long has Justin Herbert been in the league?
He got a new contract too, so he had to be 4 or 5.
Been a minute, right?
Yeah.
So, mind you, it's 2025, big dog. 2017, Tyler Show. What's it? I'm
Tyler Show. Yeah.
Same thing. Tyler Show. That old nigga. Went from playing to Anthony Brown. I don't know if I remember. Anthony Brown got him out the club in Oregon. Then he went to Texas Tech, played 1 year, hurt himself. They said, I gotta go. Got him out of there. Went to Louisville. At no time through his 10-year career in college were you dominant. I'm not the biggest Bo fan, but at least Bo dominated in Oregon.
Mhm.
Them last, 2 years?
Yeah.
Or last year. He played 2 years at Oregon?
2 years.
Them last 2 years at Oregon, he dominated. Right? Bruh, ain't nobody talk about you till the combine came up. You wasn't really like that. I think you got a good arm. You got good size. I don't know what athleticism everybody keep talking about. Yeah, all right. But, like, what do you see in this 27-year-old man that by the time his contract, get his first contract, he'll be 30? You took that over a 20. And then think about it. If you do something like that, he posed to play day one. You took Bo. What Bo did?
Turned out.
Play day one, right?
Yeah.
You don't take nobody that old to sit. He don't have time to sit. So you took him to sit.
I don't get it.
You should have waited and drafted somebody younger. Then you fast forward to the Browns with Dylan Gabriel, who you traded up for him. Nobody was going to draft Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew somebody went in the second round. Oh, Tyler Shutter went in the second round.
Oh, yeah. See, I forgot. But you draft up to get him, right? Let's go before that. I skipped Jalen Milroe because I think for the Seahawks that made sense.
That was a good pick.
And the reason why I say that, because some people say, somebody gonna say some people try to say some stuff that I'm trying to make some comparison. No, Seahawks just signed Sam Darnold to a 4-year deal. Jalen Milroe is the most project quarterback that people thought it was. Like, if we can work with him, his upside is really through the roof. You got Sam Darnold locked in. Let's go get our guy that we like, that we can be our future. He can sit behind Sam for 2 years. Get rid of Sam Howell out of here so he QB2.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to rock like that. Get it. I don't get it. Like, Shedeur is a ready-to-go product, y'all. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
You plug him in and play and see what happens. Okay, so then you get Dylan Gabriel, right? The Browns get Dylan Gabriel. No strong arm, smaller guy, bounced around a lot.
But he has a quick release.
Y'all saw the Ohio State game? It was released quick that game?
I'm telling you what they said on TV.
You see the Ohio State game?
I did.
Okay, now, you saw how Colorado was, right?
Mm-hmm.
No offensive line. Couldn't run the football. Knew they had to pass the ball. Did or did not the boy still put up numbers and complete 70% of his passes?
Confirmed.
What are we talking about?
Confirmed.
My man Jackson Dart with Whitland Kiffin completed 60. This man was running for his life, making plays out of nothing. Talking about, it was Travis. They could not block for him. So you keep going. You keep going. And I'm like, y'all about to do something stupid and let Sean McVay get his hands on Shedeur Sanders.
This is where the fear of God, I think, started to seep in, right? So as the draft kept moving, we started to get into like round 4, thank God it ended in the middle of round 5. Round 4 or 5, you start hearing whispers about the actual good teams about to start stepping in. Like, okay, we got an older quarterback. We let y'all play around for a little bit, trying to help y'all out. But if y'all want to win in franchise and show you how it's done, we'll step in.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was going to last too much longer to where teams like the Rams was like, that Stafford is getting it's getting kind of old up there. I could make work for 2 years. Hey, Jalen, I don't think maybe, Jalen's still young, but, I think if we develop Shador for about a couple years, we can probably flip him for at least for a second round pick down the road. Well, I don't know. Oh, let me see. Who's to say that if I put him with, I'm trying to think of a team. If I put him somewhere between like the Lions or something, maybe I take him on the Lions, maybe if I put him in my system, maybe
the value was too much now.
You know what I'm saying? But now he's Shador with 2 years of maturity and holding a clipboard.
The value was getting that. So
we don't need the value now. Y'all need the value right now.
Yeah.
We don't need that value right now.
Exactly.
So when those whispers starting to get a little bit louder, where the good team started to step in and handling the business that needed to be done, that's when it was like, okay, the Browns was like, all right, let's trade up. Because we can't, because we're starting to hear from the kids at the big kid table.
Yeah. And then it's just, I just don't get how somebody rated that high drops all the way to 5. I get you being nervous about him, but now you're about to hear it wasn't. If it was a talent issue, people say he wasn't that good. Oh, the league said he wasn't that good. It's bull crap. It was about his dad. Stop the cap, yo. Just tell the truth. All this anonymous this, anonymous that. You got Wack telling Vlad that he heard the videotapes, but out of respect for DM, man, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got cats out here just lying, bro. They're lying, bro. You mean to tell me a guy that's been through this before, Hall of Famer, didn't have his son prepared for these interviews? He ain't never said nothing wrong in a interview. Dude just kind of, he got a little cockiness, got a little swagger to him. I like that in the quarterback. It was all about Deion. You know what I'm saying? Just like how they tried to make Tiger Woods dead. Look away. They tried to make Serena and Venus dead. Look away. They made LeVar Ball look away. Even though he kind of said some weird shit too. But they're trying to make it look away. So just because this man has put his son in the best position to be a top tier quarterback and have a chance to be a good quarterback in this league, you tear him down because he just said the same thing that every other NFL father has said.
But with that being the case, being that Deion's already been through the rigmarole, being that's already been the deal, and you know what happens in that executive suite, why make life harder? And I understand you going to bat for your boys, like we just got done talking about LeVar.
Uh-huh.
Look, Lonzo and LaMelo.
Yeah.
They still what was pick top 2?
It's top picks, yeah.
It was top picks. Okay, don't get me wrong.
I mean, that's something that was top 2 each, but
yeah. So even at a certain point, it was like, all right, I'm gonna still let their work show.
He did though.
But I'm speaking towards the interview portion that Deion was speaking about how much power he thought he had.
Yeah. I do think it is an issue that
you got to go out back and get some lashes for that.
That's wild. That's wild.
I'm only illustrating it the way however you want to. However, maybe that's a little bit too far with the.
I mean, I get it. But that's a problem. That's a problem with the NFL.
It's always been a problem.
Yeah. I
don't want to venture too far off into making this a political relational thing.
But I mean, it's jokers that's did horrible things to women, damn near murdered people that's been drafted high.
Oh, in that case,
but this is a problem.
It was never. That's why I'm only sticking with your point. It was never about Shador.
Nah, it was about his dad.
It was about Deion.
So now people trying to spin in there because these teams are too pumped to say the real reason. Or don't say that. No, now you're gonna say, oh, he interviewed bad. Oh, he heard one that said he came in there with headphones with music playing while they was answering questions. Come on, bro. Come on.
Don't insult my intelligence, bro.
Yeah. And then some people eating that stuff, or some people saying he wasn't that good. Now, if you had him behind Jackson Dart, I
Your
think you're
preference.
not. I think you're not that smart. But hey, that's the only one I can give. The rest of them quarterbacks that got
Knock
drafted
it off.
before him,
Knock it. Knock it off.
Stop it.
Knock
Like,
it off.
Stop it. Like, this was about Deion.
No
This was
question.
personal.
No question
And for
about it.
for a company that says it's supposed to be about business and not professional, like one dude, like the GM for the Browns, this is why y'all gonna be sorry. The GM for a Browns said it's more than just football when we pick your players. You're a football team. What more could it be about than football? What more can it be about than football, man? What more it could be about? But hey, man, Shedeur, salute. HBCU can't always be an HBCU cat in my book. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't really agree with a lot of stuff Deion did, but I always said Shedeur had talent and Shedeur should be a top pick. Now you just got to go prove it, man. Keep that chip in your shoulder. Go out there, prove it. You're going to look better than Dylan Gabriel.
No question.
You're going to look better than Kenny Pickett.
Make them pay.
You know what I'm saying? And make them, you know what I'm saying? Make the Browns look good and everybody else look stupid. Even though they didn't want you.
Yeah, but even in that, you can still make the Browns look stupid. All you're gonna do is end up making the Browns, making the league look stupid and making the Browns look stupid. And again, once you do that, that's just step one. Step two, make them pay. Now, once you made them pay on the field, make them pay you in the during a contract time too. Just make them pay.
Oh, the Commanders got a deal with DC to build a stadium at the RFK site.
That makes sense.
Where the hell are these people gonna park at?
Oh, that's if you under the assumption that there was parking to begin with. That spot's taken now.
Bruh, that's crazy.
But that's why they opened up the ferry though. That stadium's right there on the water, bro. Right there on the Potomac. So
this is a side note. I saw that.
There's gonna be folks parking and catching the ferry from Virginia, Old Town Arlington to get over there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, cats parking at the MGM
and then
catching the ferry over there, bro. Yeah, you got ways around that.
It's yeah, man. But the draft, man, this year we're gonna get in next episode. This episode we had 2 minutes. We wanted to hit the storyline. Next episode we're gonna go team by team, give some grades, talk about it a little bit, more in depth what we like. But we just had to get out of the way because we both were looking at the draft like, yo, what are these cats picking?
Yeah,
like why?
Can't explain it.
Why this early? Why did you trade up for this? The only reason why I get the Jackson Dart trade up is because if you trade up, draft him in the first round,
get the fifth
year option.
I love it. I know I try to be as not unbiased as I can, but
y'all gotta do is just chase the Commanders now.
Yeah, thank you. Just keep making the path easier. As long as the Cowboys ain't do nothing too scary. They got better. I ain't gonna hate.
Offensive line help.
I ain't gonna hate. Cowboys did get better. But Commanders chase down Jaden. And we right back, baby.
Damn right. But man, the NFL draft, man, was crazy. But for this episode, IDK Sports Podcast, your premier spot to talk sports with the average guy. My man Kenny with me. My name is Anthony. Like, share, subscribe.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'll holla at you.